Today we are going to talk about objectives of writing horrors, talk about preparation, the plan stage, choosing a topic or idea, choosing the type of a story, brainstorming, planning, creating characters, the use of language, plot and story arc, editing, revising and sharing. So, the first point is to talk about our targets. Creating useful material that will help your students develop their writing. Unlocking your creative potential. Positive impact in your relationships with students. Improving and broadening students' English. And of course, using AI on different stages. Don't forget that incorporating creativity into teaching itself can yield fantastic results. And this is the major aim. Before we plunge into the abyss, I would say that sometimes it's essential to start a lesson with a short icebreaker or warm-up activity, or just at the beginning of writing your horror stories, you can brainstorm a bit your kids given different thinking puzzles. For example, the sound of Brian's snoring is usually just annoying, but today it causes terror and panic. Why? Here you can see the answer, but you don't show the answer to your students and brainstorm them for their crazy ideas, unusual ideas. Or the second one, for example, while walking across a large open field, you come across a woman that has died very suddenly, unexpectedly, and only a very short time ago. You look around, but there is no one, and nothing except for an unopened package next to the woman. How did she die? We can see that the unopened package was the woman's parachute, and of course your students can give different ideas, and you are to just to summarize and to foster this imagination. You made the chilling decision to embark on a journey into the realm of horror storytelling with your students. Students may select it, draw it from a cursed head, or you can handpick it. Perhaps you'll employ some prompts, mind maps, or other cryptic means. You can create it on Jamboards, projectors. Should you be the one to choose, carefully select a theme or topic that captivates your students' dark imaginations. We will adhere to the tried and true step-by-step approach to story creation, while always remembering that each student possesses their unique spirit. Keep in mind that every story is an entity of its own. The following points merely serve as a framework to guide their writing voyage. The most crucial elements of storytelling are their boundless creativity and fervor for the craft. Don't hesitate to experiment and set your imagination free, all while respecting the foundational principles of storytelling. Now, let's take a sinister step back and embark on a journey from the very beginning as we creep along step by step through the eerie labyrinths of crafting a story. First of all, we are to choose a topic or idea. Choose the type of the story. Brainstorm and plan. Create memorable characters. Think of the use of language. Think of some grammar structures we are going to employ. Developing the plot, story arc, editing and revising, sharing. Step by step, drop by drop. When we attach emotions to a new word, we are more likely to remember it. Emotions are powerful memory cues that help us remember experiences and information. For example, if we learn the word exhilarating and associate it with a feeling of excitement or joy, we are more likely to remember the word because it has a positive emotional significance. Crafting the shadows. a guide to creating chilling horror stories. The first step is selecting a chilling concept. Begin with students by choosing a topic or idea that sends shivers down your spine, something that invokes fear and dread. Genre of fear. Decide on the subgenre of horror you want your story to embody, whether it's supernatural, psychological, or slasher horror. As a lesson, you can give kids examples using some YouTube videos about these genres. Give them examples of different films, trailers, for them to differentiate between these the small differences between these genres. Haunting brainstorming and eerie planning. Engage in brainstorming sessions that evoke spine-tingling scenarios and ghastly situations. Plan how to torment your characters effectively. Conjuring memorable characters of darkness. Create characters that linger in the reader's nightmares, those with dark pasts, haunting secrets, or eerie idiosyncrasies. Unfolding the dark plot, spooky story arc. Develop a plot that unravels like a nightmare, with escalating tension, terrifying revelations, and a climax that leaves the reader in petrifying suspense. Editing and polishing the horror. Revise the story to intensify the horror elements. Trim what's unnecessary and amplify what sends shudders. Every word should serve to terrify. Sharing the terror. Finally, share your spine-tingling tale with the world. Let your horror story crawl into the minds of readers, leaving them sleepless and trembling in the dark. Speaking about choosing a topic or idea, you can use such useful links as you can see on slide number 9. Also, you can use random word generator to generate a word or phrase as your story's starting point. It could be as simple as a single word that sparks your imagination. Dream journal. Keep a dream journal and use the dreams or fragments of them as a basis for a story. Dreams often provide rich and surreal material for creative writing, and you can give a task to students to keep their dream journal long before actually the lesson when you start writing these horror stories. Artwork or visual prompts. Visit an art gallery or browse through art online. It can be also a part of a lesson. Choose a piece of art that resonates with you and create a story based on it. Some websites like DeviantArt even have sections for writing prompts inspired by art. Music lyrics. Select a song and use its lyrics or mood as a catalyst for a story. Write about the emotions or story you associate with the music. News headlines. Read through current or historical news headlines and select one that piques your interest. You can then imagine the backstory or future consequences of the event. Conflict exploration. Pick a common conflict, for example, love, revenge, betrayal, and brainstorm unique scenarios or settings where this conflict plays out. Alternative perspectives. Choose a well-known story or fairy tale and rewrite it from the perspective of a minor character or antagonist. Writing prompts. Use writing prompts either from writing books or websites. These are designed to stimulate creativity and can lead to unexpected story ideas. Free writing. Simply start writing without any specific idea in mind. Let your mind wander and see where your stream of consciousness take you. You may stumble upon an intriguing concept. So it's up to the teacher to decide which of these ideas to use to foster the imagination of the students. You know your students well, and it's up to you to choose any of these on the type of story. Decide on the genre or type of story you want to tell. Is it a romance, mystery, science fiction, fantasy, historical, or a blend of different genres? Genre speed dating. Organize a genre speed dating activity where students spend a short amount of time exploring various genres. Provide brief descriptions or examples of each genre and have students rotate to different stations. Afterward, they can choose the genre that piqued their interest the most. Let the students decide which subgenre of horror they want their story to embody, whether it's supernatural, psychological, or slasher horror. Diving into darkness. Let's imagine that students have opted to write a horror story, specifically within the subgenre of supernatural horror. The subsequent step involves brainstorming and planning. Haunting brainstorming and eerie planning. Group brainstorming. Encourage students to form dark circles. Huddle together in sinister unity.
Vicky, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but Michaela Mikolášková raised her hand.
Okay, just I can't see you. Sorry. So, Michaela. I can't hear.
Paní Mikolášková, my vás neslyšíme, tak buď máte vypnutý mikrofon, anebo jste se přihlásila omylem.
So, just if you wanted to ask something, we can make it at the end of the seminar. Just be ready with your questions.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So, can I continue? Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So, encourage students to form dark circles, huddle together in sinister unity. Collaborative brainstorming within these wicked gatherings often conjures forth more ideas, allowing students to weave a tapestry of terror from each other's nightmares. To put it simply, when students work in small groups, it's easier for them to relax and to create, to imagine. So that's why it's better to split them into small circles. Silent brainstorming, whispers in the shadows. In this exercise, students delve into the depth of their own fear-stricken minds, jotting down their sinister notions in silence. Like phantom scribes, they record their innermost horrors, which can empower even the most introverted among them to share their darkest visions. To my mind, at this point, this activity can be also a useful asset to help some students conquer their stress. Maybe they have recurrent nightmares, and in such a way they can talk about their fears without any scare to be laughed at. Time limits. It's very important to set time limits for brainstorming sessions, unleashing students' creative spirits in a relentless race against the encroaching witching hour. Short bursts of focused brainstorming can be exceptionally potent, as the urgency of the moment leads to unholy revelations. No wrong answers. In the realm of brainstorming, remember that there are no wrong ideas, only those that beckon from the darkest corners of the human psyche. It's essential for the teacher to be very empathic, not to just for students to feel free to voice their craziest ideas. Even the most seemingly strange or unrelated ideas can become the catalyst of chilling, uncharted horrors that defy explanation. Haunting brainstorming and eerie planning. Begin with brainstorming to develop your central idea. Create a mind map, outline, or a list of key events and ideas. Determine the setting, time, and place. This can significantly influence the story. Identify the main conflicts and obstacles that your characters will face. So, the first step is to create frightening atmosphere. The setting, the right atmosphere is of utmost importance. Dark, isolated, and eerie locations like haunted houses, graveyards, desolate forests contribute to the feeling of unease. Suspense and tension. Horror relies on building suspense and tension. This can be achieved through pacing, anticipation, and the gradual revelation of frightening elements. Supernatural or uncanny elements. Many horror stories involve supernatural entities or occurrences, such as ghosts, demons, monsters, or unexplainable phenomena. The uncanny blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. Fear of the unknown. The fear of what you can't see or understand is a powerful element in horror. It's often scarier when the threat is implied or only partially revealed. Relatable characters. Readers or viewers often connect more with characters who resemble themselves or their experiences. Relatable characters make it easier for the audience to put themselves into the story, which can heighten the fear factor. Vulnerability and isolation. Characters in horror stories are frequently isolated or cut off from help, which increases their vulnerability. Isolation can be physical, being in a remote location, or psychological, feeling alone in facing the horror. Graphic and unsettling descriptions of scenes can intensify the horror. This might include violence, disturbing visuals, grotesque creatures. Foreshadowing. Giving subtle hints or foreshadowing of impending horror can create a sense of anticipation and dread. Moral or existential themes. Some horror stories delve into deeper themes, like the consequences of human actions, morality, or existential questions about life and death. Sound and music. Sound effects and music play a significant role in horror, as they can enhance the atmosphere and trigger emotional responses into the audience. Psychological horror. The fear of the mind, such as paranoia, mental illness, or losing one's sanity, can be as terrifying as physical threats. Unpredictability. Good horror often surprises the audience. It doesn't always follow conventional storylines or predictable outcomes. Final revelations and twists. A well-crafted horror story often has a twist or revelation at the end and leaves a lasting impression, can be deeply unsettling. Survival and battle. The survival instinct is a central theme in many horror stories, with characters fighting for their lives against overwhelming odds. The uncertainty of good versus evil. In some horror stories, the line between good and evil is blurred, and the reader or viewer is left questioning who the true antagonist is. Remember that not all horror stories include every one of these elements, and there is room for creativity and innovation within the genre. The most effective horror stories are those that tap into universal fears and anxieties and create a lasting sense of unease in the audience. So it's up to you to decide which of these elements to use. Diving even deeper into the darkness. The students decided to write, for example, a supernatural horror story featuring a vampire, a deep-sea creature, time travel, a hero, a woman loved by the hero, inspired by an old photograph, and a happy ending. They wanted to be called Blood-Bound Echoes. Create a short story with students following one simple rule: beginning, middle, and end. Include one main character and a few side characters. Alternatively, provide them with 5 words, nouns, that must be incorporated into the story. Emphasize quality over quantity. Let's conjure up some memorable characters for Harry's story. And you can do it. You can think about it. You can share your characters with us. So after the seminar, we can. After I finish, we can discuss your ideas. For example, with students, it's a good idea to use artificial intelligence. You can develop well-rounded characters with distinct personalities, backgrounds, and motivations. For example, the instruction for AI. Hi AI. My students want to write a supernatural horror story featuring a vampire, a deep-sea creature, time travel, a hero, a woman loved by the hero, inspired by an old photograph, and a happy ending. They wanted to be called, like for example, Blood-Bound Echoes. Please give a few suggestions for the names of the characters, including the monster. You can see the list of these names generated by artificial intelligence, and you can have a vote with the students. They can choose the names. Just it's up to you to decide. Also, you should consider the character arcs, how your characters will change and grow throughout the story. Here, the names can come well before the story is decided. You can, for example, generate prompts and provide feedback from your students if they like these names or if they don't like. Reading and analyzing literature. Okay, AI can be used also to analyze and provide insights into different types of literature, and you can use various platforms to use different AI algorithms, and we have given you these links as a previous seminar. Deep in the Darkness. A supernatural horror story featuring a vampire Leon Nightshade, time travel, a monstrous deep-sea creature Abyssal Terror, a courageous hero Samuel Hunter, the woman the hero loves, Isabella Hart, and a heartwarming conclusion. The use of language that chills to the bone. Creating a horror story with your students is a fantastic opportunity to explore specialized vocabulary tailored to the genre. It's a chance to delve into eerie, macabre, and spine-tingling terminology, allowing a deeper understanding of the vocabulary that defines the genre. You can create special word clouds with kids, with students. You can play Quizlet, word wall, create special online activities for them to practice these words before the writing lesson itself, just to equip them with the necessary vocabulary. It's essential to also brush up on the plot and creating a spooky story arc. You should establish a clear beginning, middle, and end for your story. Develop a compelling plot with rising action, a climax, and resolution. Create subplots or side stories that add depth and complexity to the main narrative. Ensure that the story arc is engaging and there is a satisfying conclusion. Before the writing session, you can analyze any of the famous books or films discussing all the moments when you can see the rising action, climax, resolution. You may ask students in groups to do it, to draw the picture, to illustrate any famous film, any famous book for them to understand these steps. For example, Dracula or some other versions, some other famous books. So, for example, the more details you provide to AI, the more ownership you have over the story. Don't succumb to the temptation of relying on it to carry out the entire creative process. Throughout, mind mapping and planning should come before seeking its assistance. For example, Blood-Bound Echoes, Secret in Shadows, Act 1. Introduce Samuel Hunter, a history professor, who stumbles upon an old photograph of Isabella Hart, a woman he's inexplicably drawn to, despite never having met her. Samuel discovers a mysterious book on time travel and its potential to unlock the secrets of the past. Samuel's journey begins as he uses the newfound knowledge to travel back in time, only to find himself in a perilous and unfamiliar place. Act 2. Echoes of Despair. Samuel encounters Isabella in the past, but their joy is short-lived as they uncover the dark secret of Leon Nineshade, a powerful vampire haunting their town. They embark on a quest to confront the vampire, slowly learning its vulnerabilities and strengths. The relentless pursuit begins, leading Samuel and Isabella to the chilling revelation of the abyssal terror, a monstrous deep-sea creature bound to the vampire. Act 3. Unholy Alliance. Samuel and Isabella's bond deepens as they face the vampire and the deep-sea creature in their relentless pursuit. The heart-pounding battles, dark revelations, and narrow escapes push their courage to the limit. The lines between the past, present, and supernatural blur as they race against time to uncover the weaknesses of their supernatural adversaries. Act 4. Love's Sacrifice. The final confrontation with Leon Nightshade and the abyssal terror reaches its climax. Samuel and Isabella unveil their vampire's vulnerability to an ancient artifact, the Crimson Locket. In a heart-wrenching moment, Samuel sacrifices himself to defeat the vampire, while Isabella confronts the monstrous deep-sea creature. Act 5. Echoes of Redemption. The vampire is killed and the abyssal terror is driven back into the depths. Isabella discovers a way to reunite with Samuel by using the power of the Crimson Locket. The story concludes with a heartwarming reunion, showing that love transcends time and death, and their hearts are bound together for eternity. To make it more intense, we use present tense, and we can explain to the students that just for the listener, it's better to see in our mind's eye when the present tense is used. How can we use AI during a creative process? Grammar and spelling. AI can detect and correct grammar and spelling errors, helping the student adhere to proper language conventions. Punctuation. It can ensure correct punctuation usage, helping students with sentence structure and readability. Vocabulary enhancement. AI can suggest synonyms and better word choices to enhance the text clarity and variety. Sentence structure. It can identify awkward or incorrect sentence structures and provide suggestions for improvement. Style and tone. AI can help students maintain a consistent style and tone throughout the story, ensuring a more coherent narrative. Clarity and coherence. AI can identify and suggest revisions for unclear or incoherent passages, enhancing the story's overall flow. Consistency. AI can assist in maintaining consistency in terms of tenses, point of view, and other elements throughout the story. And you can check the text to ensure that the student's work is original and properly cited if necessary. Feedback and comments. AI can provide constructive feedback, learning resources. AI can recommend learning resources and materials based on the areas where the students need improvement, aiding in their English language development. Accessibility. AI can offer text-to-speech capabilities to help students listen to their work, which can assist in improving pronunciation and understanding spoken English. Practice. Some AI platforms offer writing prompts and exercises, allowing students to practice and receive instant feedback on various aspects of their writing. Finally, edit and revise stage. Review students' stories for grammar, spelling, punctuation errors. Focus on the clarity and coherence of their writing. Assessment. One should focus on the progress and efforts made rather than just the final outcome. It encourages a mindset that values the journey and continuous improvement rather than fixating on the end goal, and try not to be too strict, just to encourage the students to create without fear. Because nobody is born to be a writer, it's a hard work. Finally, share your work. Encourage your students to share their stories with others. Getting feedback from friends, family, teachers, and using it to make their stories even better. Don't forget that our primary objective is for students to acquire English, recognizing that creativity plays a role in this project and process. Not all students may be equally creative, but there is an opportunity to instruct them in vocabulary, sentence structure, and other linguistic aspects. You should weigh improvement, not the end result. Why it is important to teach creative writing? First of all, students develop their communication skills. Creative writing can improve a student's ability to express themselves clearly and effectively, both in writing and in speech. Critical thinking. Writing creatively involves thinking deeply about a topic or story, analyzing different perspectives and ideas, and evaluating their effectiveness. These skills can be applied to many other areas of life. Imagination and creativity. Writing creatively allows students to develop their imagination and creativity, which can help them come up with innovative solutions to problems in different areas of their lives. Empathy. When students write creatively, they often have to put themselves in someone else's shoes, imagining how that person might feel and think. This can develop empathy and understanding of other people's perspectives. Confidence. Creative writing can boost a student's confidence in their writing abilities, which can translate to other areas of their lives as well. Self-reflection. Writing creatively can help students to reflect on their own thoughts and feelings, which can be a valuable tool for self-discovery and personal growth. So, in this seminar, I aimed to illustrate that by following a conventional method in delivering creative writing lessons to your students, you can nurture their originality, not just through the methodology